What's your thoughts on it? Do you think we live in a matrix? Virtual
Yeah.
reality?
So yeah, I wanted to come back to that is like when you said living in like a virtual reality. Yeah, I mean, but at the same
To
time, like
to what extent though? Yeah, to what extent?
yeah, so like to be devil's advocate or like to imagine like one of my friends trying to argue with me about it, it's like, okay, how is this a virtual reality? Like they're always when people hear virtual reality, they're programmed to think about like the video games that they played growing
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
like they don't realize that this is just a video game for some other entity. You know, I use the word archons a lot just because I've looked into Gnosticism. I really like Gnosticism. I actually go by G. My middle initial is G, and
Mm.
I've always just been fascinated by like Masonic symbolism,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and so yeah, so basically, um, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much that. So yeah, so I guess to circle back to the virtual reality part, like, um, I feel like we are kind of like Sims, you know, like I think that's a lot of people compare that to that video game to what real life is. And I think as far as like making that analogy for somebody who's on that level, like that's the best analogy for it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
the only way to make the analogy if you're not there. Like the only way to see it is to see it. You can't explain that shit with symbols. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. I 100% believe we live in a virtual reality. I do believe we are the Sims. I agree with that 100%.
What do you think about Atlantis?
You know what, bro? I don't know. And I think that's the thing. I think that's the main thing, bro, that we don't know. I think there's all these conspiracies, the people that look into Atlantis, the Tartaria, Egypt. I think, yes, there might be some truth to it, but at the end of the day, bro, we weren't there and we'll never know. And I think we waste so much time trying to figure out if Atlantis was a thing, if this was a thing, if that was a thing, when it's like, yo, we being lied to right now in present day, and we don't give a fuck about that. So why so Atlantis, I don't know, bro. Based off what people are saying, yeah, I would believe it's real, but I don't know. Maybe some other guy will come debunk that theory, and he might present some better information, and I'd be more on that side where, hey, I mean, it's not real. So I don't know, bro. I don't know what exists no more, and that's where I'm at with Murph. Fucked me up.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, yeah, I listened to that episode, and for real, like he definitely had me questioning some things. One thing that I'll never let go of, I guess, is like my belief that what I believe, literally, or the way that human vibration would put it is like we render our reality.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I feel like faith is part of how we render it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just that I believe that, but it's almost like, I mean, somebody could doubt it or debate it or whatever, but like that's their doubt. Like as soon as they doubt it, then it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like I guess what I'm saying is like the one thing that I hold strong to as far as faith is just knowing that my faith is that power that renders my reality. And so even if I believe something's real, okay, it might not be real, but like, are you a South Park fan at all?
I'm not. No.
Okay. There's this one, there's this one episode called Imagination Land,
Uh-huh.
and it's actually like a three-part episode. But at the end, they're talking about how like Jesus and Santa and all these figures that aren't real, and Cartman, because Cartman loses a bet, or all right.
Is that the one that always
Cartman said,
dies?
there's a bet. There's some sort of bet about leprechauns being real, and Kyle's like, no, leprechauns aren't real. And then they see a leprechaun, and Cartman's like, you got to suck my balls because that was the bet. Like the bet was Kyle would suck Cartman's balls if there was a leprechaun.
Mm-hmm.
And so like basically it's it's South Park, so it's fucking crazy. But like
Right. Yeah.
there's a bunch of imaginary characters have started to leak through to the real world is like the plot behind it or whatever.
Mm.
But at the end, they're talking about like how Jesus and Santa and all these so-called imaginary characters have actually affected our life more than all these real people that we see every day, like the convenience store clerk or like,
Yep.
you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So
Cops.
the level of faith that you put into Santa and Jesus and all of these, what, and all of the stuff that we believe is real but isn't in some way, shape, or form. But that's where the line becomes what's real and what's not becomes very blurry, because what you believe you make real, no matter how fake it is. But if you're lying to yourself and you continue to believe in things that, you know, that reality is no longer supporting, so
Mm-hmm.
it's you're gonna have a hard time.
The power of belief is power. I mean, it's powerful. Or the power of what thought, just thinking something. That's just
I mean,
powerful,
it's
bro.
also just agreeing to that thought on like a soul level, like not just on a
Mm-hmm.
conceptual level, but when you put faith in something, that's like you've invested your whole body, your mind, body, and soul into this
Right.
concept, which, as long as you're aware that it's just a concept, like you can do what you want with it. It's more of a power, like an art, than a concept that you're locked into, like faith, like what you believe, like it's this rigid thing that doesn't change, like I'm a Christian or I'm an whatever. Like
Right. Yeah.
people's
Yeah.
belief changes all the time if they're being real, because reality changes all the time.
Yes. I tell people, man, just stay in the middle, man. Don't like because you get caught up in one theory and then you just go down that rabbit hole so bad. But like I said earlier, like we don't know, so why get so invested into something?
Yeah, I
It's
heard
better.
you had gotten into the Q stuff.
Yeah, and that's where I messed up. Yeah, because that's look how that played out.
Right. Well, I've always said, and see, so like, again, as I was saying at the very beginning, I'm a little older, man. So like when I first got into it, my mistake was getting into like Info Wars and Alex Jones and shit. And like I always say, man, they mix the truth and the lies. They want
Yep.
people that look into truth to, especially when you first start looking into truth, to grab onto something and be like, oh, you guys are all crazy, like this is actually the truth. And but just that act of holding on to it is what makes somebody look weird, you know what I mean?
And
Or
that's why I tell people like I'm kind of over the conspiracies because I look at conspiracy like you said earlier too. It's entertainment to me now, right? So it's just like cool. A new conspiracy just popped up that I don't know about. Cool, let me find out about it. But I don't get caught up on the theories anymore because we don't know, and then it causes all this conflict between people. And you got both. It creates different sides, and people trying to, oh well, this happened back then, and now this, and it's like I said, we don't know, so we constantly fighting, is constantly creating division. So, but they're entertaining. Don't get me wrong; they're fun to look at, they're fun to look into, but for the most part, all the crazy ones have never came true. It's been all the political ones that just come true.
yep. Yeah. I mentioned it on the Human Vibration podcast, but the thing that I like about conspiracy is that it's open minded, and you're able to challenge your belief and explore different worldviews. But the one
Right.
thing that I've always kind of felt weird about with the whole like conspiracy community is it always seems to slant negative. It always seems to slant toward like you don't have any choice, or like you're powerless to some
Mm-hmm.
government or aliens or whatever, robots, like whatever it may be. And I feel like the real conspiracy is that they don't really care what you believe in as long as you don't believe in yourself.
That's a bar. That's a bar. That's facts. That's
Yeah,
facts. 100%, bro. 100%. I like that. That was good.
for
That was
sure.
real
For
good.
sure.